Hey man, let's go to a steakhouse. You want to go to a steakhouse? Nah, let me show you how to make a steak for half the cost. What's up everybody, I'm Zach, I'm just a simple chef, and today I'm going to show you how to cook the perfect steak. I have a Delmonico cut steak ribeye from my local butcher. I'm going to show you how to cook this the right way, in my opinion. We're going to have a little chimichurri sauce on the side to top the steak, and it's going to come out amazing.
Alright, so let's open up this package. Wow. Look at that ribeye. Beautiful. I always love shopping at a butcher shop instead of the grocery store. Quality is so much better. So we're going to salt the outside. Not too crazy. Get all the edges, tap it down. I'm gonna get it covered in salt pretty much. And then we're gonna put it on the plate and get it in the refrigerator. And it's going to kind of dry out the outside and give it the ability to get a nice crust on the skillet. In my opinion, I don't think you should skip this, and I would even leave it overnight. I only did it for a couple hours.
Alright, so for the chimichurri, you're going to need parsley, cilantro, a shallot, a lemon, some garlic, and red wine vinegar.
Alright, so I'm cutting off the leaves of the cilantro, and we're just going to chop the heck out of it. Chop, chop, chop. That's all we're going to be doing. This with the cilantro and the parsley. As fine as you can get it. This is about the consistency that you want. Now we're going to get that into our container. Finish up the cilantro and work on the parsley. I think parsley is a lot easier to chop than cilantro. Cilantro tends to smush and parsley tends to chop. Not sure if that's a good explanation. Yeah, chop, 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 everybody. Alright, so cilantro, parsley's done. Now we're gonna roll our lemon to break up the juices inside the lemon before we squeeze it. Helps get as much as we can from the lemon. And we're just going to go ahead and cut it in half and squeeze it into a container. Get all the juices. Good old dog wants to come and have some lemon, I guess. Creeping. He's a creeper in the corner. So now we're slicing the garlic. And this is another thing we want to mince up as fine as we possibly can. And once we get that all minced up, chopped up, get it into our container and get it on the side. And from there we're going to start onto our shallot. And we're going to want to get this as fine as possible too. Everything to be uniform. Parsley, cilantro, garlic, shallots. Everything to be about the same size. As best as you possibly can do. So this is how I like to cut my shallots. Same way as you'd cut the onion. You'd keep the root on, slice, put one cut through, and then go in the opposite direction and dice it down. Alright, so salt, shallots, garlic, freshly crushed red pepper flakes, cilantro, parsley, lemon juice, red wine vinegar, and a good blend of canola and olive oil. So we're going to take the garlic and we're going to kind of heat it up really fast. I am not a fan of raw garlic in anything, so we're just going to heat the oil up, drop the garlic in, turn the heat off, and pull it away from the heat. We don't want to brown it, we don't want to do anything, we just kind of want to just make it a little soft and aromatic. Get that into our container. And then from here, we're going to do 2 tablespoons of parsley, 2 tablespoons of cilantro, a tablespoon, 2 tablespoons of shallots, 2 tablespoons of garlic, 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, a tablespoon of crushed red pepper flakes, and a pinch of salt. And we're going to get that all mixed together. And then we're going to add our oil. And we want to slowly add the oil in because the parsley and cilantro will soak up a little bit of it, and you don't want it to be super oily. So just keep mixing it in. And then here we're going to add a little bit more salt. And we're going to add the red wine vinegar. We're going to do 1 tablespoon. Get everything combined. Look at that. That's about what you want. So we're going to go ahead and taste it. Remember, taste everything so you know what you're dealing with. And it needed more salt, so we're adding more salt. Now we're going to just finish mixing that up and getting it into our container. I really like using these deli cups. It's just me though. Look at that beautiful homemade chimichurri. It's gonna go delicious on steak, chicken, fish. So here's our steak after 2 hours. We're going to dry it off with a paper towel, and I don't know if you can see it, but all the salt has absorbed into the steak. So here we are, just drying it off because we want the outside to be dry before we put it onto the hot skillet. It's just preparation to get a hard crust on the outside of the steak. It's key, trust me. So here, thyme, rosemary, garlic, crushed garlic. These are our aromatics for our steak. Then a knob of butter. And that's pretty much all you need. Steak, aromatics, garlic, butter. So we're going to season it with a coarse ground black peppercorn and a little bit of salt because the salt helps build the crust also. I'm going to flip it to the other side and get some more coating of the black pepper. And we're almost ready to cook this beautiful Delmonico cut ribeye steak. A Delmonico cut is pretty much just a thick cut ribeye. My opinion, my favorite.
Alright, so we got everything seasoned. We're going to get the steak onto the smoking hot skillet. But before you do that, make sure you hit the like button and hit the little dongle if you subscribe so you know when I post. I post every Friday. And I just want to say thank you for tuning in and watching this video.
Look at that beautiful seasoned steak. So we want to get our skillet really hot. And you must use a cast iron for this. I don't know if you can see the smoke in the video, but it's smoking. So we're going to add our steak in, and we're just going to set it and leave it. We do not want to move it. Make sure the oil is surrounding the steak, and we're just going to let it sit. Just listen to that. It's so beautiful. So you know when to flip it when you start seeing around the edges browning. Look at that crust. Oh my goodness. Even the dog thinks it's a dope crust. Listen to that. Look at that. Just beautiful. Amazing.
So I guess my camera didn't film correctly, so I didn't get the part where I dropped the garlic in, the crushed garlic, the thyme and the rosemary, and the butter. So I missed that part, so I'm gonna kind of explain it here. So just drop the garlic, rosemary, thyme, butter, and get that melted with a little bit of oil or the residual oil and fats from the steak, because you don't want the butter to burn, and you just baste the steak. I got a few minutes of the basting the steak towards the end, but it wasn't the beginning. So you just want to baste it. So hard sear on one side, hard sear on the other side. Add in your aromatics, rosemary and thyme, then add your garlic and butter, and then you just baste it. And you keep basting it.
So here is basting. So the butter's melted, the rosemary and thyme are kind of heated from the butter and the oils, and I'm just basting it. And you're gonna baste both sides. Alright, so now that we got it on the cutting board, we're going to let it rest for like 5 to 10 minutes. So it's rested for about 10 minutes now, and we're gonna go ahead and cut into it, and I'm just gonna let you watch. Alright, so now we're just gonna put the chimichurri, and that's it. It's done. It's beautiful. It's pink. It's fatty and juicy and glistening and covered in butter and crust, and it's amazing.
Damn! Look at that! I'd pay good money for that steak. Let's see what we got here. Good old chimichurri. Mmm. Mmm. Oh my gosh. It's got a crust on both sides. It's juicy, salty. It's so good. All right, everybody, so there you have it. There's the steak. Ribeye, medium, with a chimichurri sauce, just like you could buy at a steakhouse. Super simple, not too many crazy ingredients, and save you like $30. I think this steak was like 20 bucks maybe at my butcher's. And you easily could charge $65 for this at a steakhouse if it's not a super high-end one. Oh man, yummy.